Welcome back to video 4 in our series about the NTHS one-pager project. This is our most informative video for this project because you're really going to dive deep into paragraph styles and why they're so important and how it makes your life easier. So first, before we can get started in our paragraph styles, we got to make sure that we have that window open. So in InDesign, we're going to go over to Window, and we're going to make sure that we have Styles and Paragraph Styles open. And it should dock it over here if you have your workspace set up like mine, but if you don't, it's not a big deal. You can always take this whole panel and dock it yourself or undock it, however you want it. When I opened up my paragraph styles panel, it also put character styles and style packs in there. I only really want to focus on these paragraph styles for right now, so I'm going to click on that one and open it up. Right now, the only paragraph style is this basic paragraph. That's the default paragraph style of InDesign. We're going to kind of ignore that for right now because we're going to create all of our own original paragraph styles. To do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and highlight a paragraph. And I'm just going to highlight this first one over here just because it's easy. And I'm going to start to make all of the settings the way that I want them for this specific paragraph style. So first thing I'm going to do is change the font name. So it's going to be Avenir Next, and you should see that in your list of fonts here. And then we're going to click on the style, and I have it on regular. I want to keep it on regular there. Then the point size is going to be 9. So I'm going to just click on this down arrow until we get to 9. I don't need to mess with anything as far as letting tracking or kerning, but I do want to make sure down here in the paragraph that I have unchecked hyphenate. Hyphenate is the bane of my existence in InDesign, but basically what hyphenate does is it takes some of your words and breaks them up, and so we want to make sure that we don't have that happen. Uncheck that hyphenate button right there. Alright, so now that we have everything designed the way that we want it in that paragraph style, I'm going to go ahead and in the paragraph style panel, while it's still highlighted over there, click on that plus sign, create new style, and now paragraph style 1 has appeared. If I slow click on it twice, you'll see that I can change the name, and I do want to change the name for this one to body paragraph style, so I'm just going to name it body and press enter. If I double click on the paragraph style, you'll see I have a whole bunch more options. One thing I do want to do is over here in the shortcut is I'm going to create a shortcut on my computer to make this easier for me. So I'm going to hold down the shift key and the B key for body, and it puts the shortcut of shift B in there, and so I can click OK. So now anytime that I want to apply this body paragraph style that we just created to any other area, I can use shift B while it's highlighted. Let me show you what that looks like. So actually I'm going to do this to everything that we have in our text, all of the text on our page. So going up to our layers panel, I'm going to click on that blue dot to make sure that everything inside of here, every single text box that I have is selected. Go back over to my paragraph styles. I could click on this, but instead I'm going to do shift B. And now it has converted all of my text to that same style. So now it's all in Avenir Next, regular 9-point font, and it's not hyphenated. All right, so we're getting closer to the look that we want here. Our next paragraph style that we're going to create is very similar to the body, but it's going to be a little bit bigger. The couple areas in here that we're going to make a bigger font is, let me actually select somewhere outside of here so that nothing is selected. This text up here at the top, if I highlight it, I'm going to actually do Command A to highlight everything. We're going to make it actually 12-point instead of 9-point. You'll notice that like a little plus sign shows up right here over body. That means that we have overridden the size of the body paragraph style that was applied to it. But we're actually going to create a new paragraph style based off of what we just changed. So the only thing we changed is we moved it up to 12 points, and we're going to click on that plus sign. And now we have a new one. And this one I'm going to name body 12-point just to make it easier for me so I remember what it is. And this shortcut that we're going to use for this one, just because we already used the B for body, we'll do Shift O because that's the next letter in body. And so I'll click OK. The other areas that we're going to apply this to, the chat with us online at nths.org. So if you highlight that over on the left-hand column, I can do Shift O and it applies that style. And then all 4 of the text boxes at the bottom are all going to have that paragraph style. So Shift O, and you can see it's applied it to all of those. All right, another paragraph style that we need to create is our header. And so CTE program benefits right here in the middle, that's going to be one of our headers. So I'll go ahead and stylize it, and then we can create the paragraph style based off of that. So with it highlighted, I'm going to change it to, it's still in Avenir Next, that's the same font, but we're going to change it to demi bold style. So demi bold. We're going to change it to 12 points. And we're going to change the color, the fill color, to that NTHS purple that we created for the QR code. One more thing that we need to do is this under the paragraph property, there's a button that says space after, and we're going to change that space after to 0.0625. So I just went up one and it's 0.0625. And what that does is it creates a little space underneath the paragraph or the CTE program benefits to give it a little breathing room. All right, so with it still highlighted, we're going to click on that plus sign, and this new paragraph style that popped in here is now called headers. And we're going to do Shift H as our shortcut and then click OK. So now I can apply this to the other places where we need a header. So member benefits is going to be one, so Shift H. How to start a chapter is going to be one, Shift H. Membership criteria guidelines, Shift H. Core 4 objectives, Shift H. Contact us, Shift H. And I think that's all of our headers. So now we can go into our bullets. So core 4 objectives here, these 4 items are going to be bulleted. So with them highlighted, I'm going to go under paragraph and down a little bit lower than that, bullets and numbering, and click on that first icon that says bulleted list. We're going to change a few of these settings right here. So our first line left indent, which is this one right here, we're going to make that one negative 0.125. So negative 0.125. If I click the up arrow once and twice, it should be there at negative 0.125. And then we got to change to the left indent, which is the one right above it. And that one we're going to go down, click it twice to 0.125. And that just makes our bullets a little closer in to that left side over there. All right, with the bulleted text still highlighted, we're going to create a paragraph style for that one as well. It pops in paragraph style 1. We're going to double click on that and name that bullets. And we've already used Shift B for bullets or for body, so we'll do Shift U for bullets. And the other things that are going to be bulleted are the items underneath the CTE program benefits. So Shift U once they're highlighted. Everything under the member benefits, Shift U. Everything from candidate to specific over here under membership criteria guidelines, Shift U. And we're done with bullets. All right, so we've got all of our paragraph styles done that we're going to do, but we still need to make a couple character styles. Now, the difference between paragraph styles and character styles is that paragraph styles are meant to be applied to a block of text. So it's applied to this whole line of text or this whole section of text, while character styles are really only meant to be applied to a word or two. So it's more specific. It's not really meant to be applied in bigger areas. So I'm going to go switch over from my paragraph styles to my character styles, or if you click on these little icons, you can go up to the character styles one. And we're going to create our first character style. So the first one's going to be called stats. And basically all of these numbers in the middle here, so $300,000, 50 states, 1 million, 50,000, all of those are going to be kind of bold and highlighted so that it draws your attention to them when you first see them. So I'm going to select that first one in 300,000. I'm going to keep Avenir Next, but change it to bold. I'm going to change it to an 18-point font, so move it all the way up to 18. And we're going to make it that NTHS purple. So now you can see it's nice and bold and highlighted there. I'm going to highlight that again, make sure it's still selected, and create my first character style. So click on the plus sign, got my character style, double click on it. We're going to name this one Stats. And again, I like to make my shortcuts to make my life easier, so we'll do Shift S for stats and click OK. Now I can click on 50 states, highlight that, Shift S to create that bolded look. 1 million, highlight that, Shift S. 50,000, highlight that, Shift S. And then I also want to apply it to this URL up here at the top, the www.nths.org, so Shift S on that one as well. I know that you can't see it right now, but we will fix that later, so don't worry too much about that right now. All right, we also want to bold a few words inside of our paragraphs over here. So the mission of the National Technical Honor Society, those words right there, the mission of the National Technical Honor Society, we want to make those bolded. So with them highlighted, I'm just going to change it to demi bold. And we're going to create the character style. And we're going to double click on character style to name that one bold words. And we'll make that Shift L since we've already done Shift B and Shift O. All right, the other bold words that we're going to apply it to is we achieve this through in the next paragraph. So we achieve this through, which is the first 4 words, Shift L. And then over here where it says check out the NTHS Advisor Guidebook, just the words NTHS Advisor Guidebook, Shift L to apply the bold words character style. Now that we've got all of our character styles and our paragraph styles done, I'm going to go ahead and do some overriding on a few things because there's just like a few little tweaks that need to happen in just a few areas. The first one is this quote up here at the top. So being involved in NTHS, that whole little paragraph right there. We're going to create our own style for this one. We don't need to make a paragraph style because we're not going to apply it anywhere else. We don't need to make a character style because we're not going to apply it anywhere else. This is its own little standalone style. So with it highlighted right there, we're going to go over, actually I'm just going to minimize that so we don't have to look at that panel. We're going to go over here to the properties and under character, we're going to change it to italic. We're going to make sure it's still 9 points, but we are going to make sure it is this NTHS purple color. And under paragraph, we're going to make it centered. So center align. All right. And then our social media stuff over here, it's kind of all jumbled together. So everything from that first handle down, we're going to change it to a 7-point font. So go down just a little bit. We're going to align it to the right. We're going to also change the space after each line up a little bit. We're actually going to click in here and type in a very specific number for that. So the space after each line is going to be 0.22 and you're going to press enter. You can see it really spreads it out there. And then I'm just going to highlight that very top one that says at National Technical Honor Society. And in just that top one, I'm going to change the leading. So the leading right here, we're going to change that to 30 and press enter. Now, I do have an issue with mine kind of going off the page there a little bit. Either something we're going to do later on is going to change it or we need to move it up a little bit. So maybe I'm just going to take it down just a little bit to, let's see. Oh, actually this part is our problem here. So this is not supposed to be on 2 different lines. If you go in there and press a backspace, you'll see it actually puts all that together on one line. So then we can highlight this text again and take it back up to 30. So now that we can see all of them. There we go. So we have no offset text. That's good. All right. We also need to change the and the Honor Society for Career and Technical Education because it's supposed to be emphasized with the way that you say it. So it's like the Honor Society for Career and Technical Education. So we're going to make it a bold italic. And we're going to make it that NTHS purple. This whole text box up here at the top, I'm going to use my selection tool to select that whole text box. We want it to be right aligned. And then we also want to change the vertical justification of this box so that it's at the very bottom of the box. So I'm going to right click text frame options and put it at the very bottom for vertical justification. You can see it slapped it down here and then click OK. These 4 boxes at the bottom, we want all these to be center aligned. All right, we're getting really close to our final look for this. We have all of our text in here. It looks the way it's supposed to be. We have all of our images in here that look the way they're supposed to be. We need to add a couple graphical elements, including the social media icons. And so we'll take care of those in the next video. Thanks for watching. This completes video 4. Click here to move on to video 5, and we'll see you in the next video.